Another cool feature that I like in Modo's painting tools, and I do use this when I paint in Modo, is the constrain to curve feature. And that allows me to constrain my brushstroke to a background curve, so I'm not always using a freehand brushstroke. So I'll show you how that works. So let's jump over to the items menu here. And I'm going to go ahead and add an empty mesh layer. I'm going to jump over here to my tools, go down to curves, and I'm going to go ahead and click on just a regular curve. Let's position this where I want it. And I'm also going to use background mesh constraint for the background, right? And that's going to constrain those to the surface of the torus as I build these curves. And so that's good for that. I'll build one more on this layer too. Hit the escape key, grab the curve again, and then go here, 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 and there. All right. Now I'm going to turn off background constraint. I'm going to grab my tool again. I'm going to grab this curve. Let's see. There we go. And go to curve to activate that tool. With background constraint off, I'm going to pull one of these nodes, one of these little control vertices away from the surface a little bit. You'll see why. All right, so there we go. Now I'm going to jump back over to the painting tools here. I'm just going to grab the eraser. Now make sure that I'm on the mesh, the torus that I want to paint, and go over here and click on this diffuse color image. That's what I'm painting on as well. So I'm just going to erase some of this, make some room to create new brush strokes here. All right, there we go. Airbrush, and you can do this with either a Wacom pen or pressure sensitive stylus or mouse, doesn't matter. I'm going to shrink my brush size down a bit, grab a nice bright color there, and I'm going to go right here where it says curve constraint. I'm going to go background 2D, all right, and we're just going to click anywhere, and look at that, paints it right on there. Now if I wander off a little bit, it will try to stay as close as possible to that curve. And you can see that as I wander a little bit, it will stay attached to that curve as close as possible. And I think I have some weird noise going on here. Let's see if I can, there we go. Brighter color here. Yeah. And if I increase my brush size, soften it a little bit, there we go. All right, you'll notice that I crossed over two curves and it didn't know for a second which one to constrain to, but that's okay. All right, so now let's look at this curve that goes off of the surface a little bit. And let me use the background 3D feature. I'm going to grab my Wacom pen here and do this with my stylus. Bring that down a little bit. A lot of times I'll turn off my grid in the background when I'm painting because it just kind of gets in the way. And where is that? It's right about there. Okay. That's the end of it. Now as I go closer to this area that it starts to lift off of the surface, the curve starts to lift off of the surface, you'll know that the brush tapers off. And then as I go a little closer to the surface, it joins back up to the torus again. So yeah. All right. Now if I convert this to, say, go back to 2D, it doesn't matter if that line is off of the surface or not. It's going to continue to follow it. Now if I go here, look at that. So it uses line of sight from your perspective view to follow that curve. So that's kind of a cool feature.